I hope you're well. Today is the 21st of December. I am just heading to work. It's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and today I slept in with Steve because I went to a follow-up for the Landmark Forum last night, and it finished at 10, and then I got home at about 11, and then Steve was at a work Christmas party, and I just wanted to wait up and go to sleep with him. So I did some cleaning around the house till midnight, went to sleep, and I just slept in this morning because I wanted to get a proper night's sleep, which is such an interesting story, isn't it? So anyway, so what I want to talk about today, I think, is the thing that I went to last night, the follow-up to the Landmark Forum, or one of them. So I did the Landmark Forum, which is like I don't know how to describe it at all, but I will link some of the videos where I'm talking about it. I went to it at the end of November, and it's basically they call it a transformational program, but it's often described by other people as like personal development in a sense. So I went to that, and they have 10 follow-on workshops that are included as part of it. So I went to one of them last night, and yeah, it was just really good. So I feel like often when I'm doing that kind of thing, it takes me a little while to really be willing to actually reflect fully on my life, and I find that I'm wanting to be, not even consciously, but I'm wanting to not look so that I can feel good about my life, if that makes sense. So last night I was really like, I'm actually gonna do this 100% and not sort of half-ass it just so I don't have to find anything that needs to be fixed. That's not even needs to be fixed, but just empowering myself more, I guess, is the best way to word it. So last night they were talking about integrity, which is where by the way, I went to the beach yesterday, as you know if you watched yesterday's video, and I got a bit sunburnt, so I feel like I look really funny at the moment because luckily though I got burned like all where you'd put blush, so could be worse. Like there are definitely worse places to get burned, and I'm a bit sunburnt on my back. We put sunblocker on, but I think it was because I got burnt here because we went in the waves. Like we were swimming quite a lot, and after we went under every wave, I'd wipe my eyes, and I think that's how I wiped that bit off. And so anyway, side note, we're talking about integrity, which is where what you say you'll do matches what you actually do, and looking at if there are areas of our life where we or certain situations, specific ones. It's not just like really broad, you have to get really specific and actually really reflect, instead of being like healthy eating and not really dig down into it. So I was having to think about that, and I feel like there are quite a few areas of my life where I don't feel like I'm in integrity. It's usually when I don't feel like I'm in complete integrity with myself, more so than with other people. But like, for example, I had told Steve that I would do this internet test we have to do because the internet speed is really slow, and the internet company knows there's an issue, and they sent me an email on the 1st of December. Today is the 21st, I said, on the 1st of December, saying, hey, can you just do these 3 tests? So that they'd sent a few technicians out, like, can you please do these 3 tests? Just send us a screenshot of the results and send it back. And I just looked at the email when I got it, and I was like, don't understand it. When really, like when I had another look today, I was like, oh, it actually has all the instructions, and it's pretty simple, and it took about half an hour, so that was fine. But I told Steve I'd do it, and then I was just like having all this story that I was too busy. Like, in my mind, we hadn't really been talking about it much, but I just not done it when I said I would. And he'd asked about it a couple of times, like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. And yeah, so just things like that where I have said I would do something and I haven't, and it just doesn't feel great at all. Then there's also, so I did the test today, it was fine. Then there's also, like, mainly just with it's been really interesting setting this impossible goal for 2018. If you don't know what I'm referring to, I will link the videos where I'm talking about it, because I just really don't want to keep rehashing the same things over and over again, though that is what life is like. But anyway, and I found myself being really resistant to doing the nitty-gritty planning. So love coming up with, like, the big goal, and then coming up with, like, a high level plan, but really, like, getting down into the nitty-gritty of how I'm actually going to do it. I have been really resistant to making myself do that planning, and I'm still working on figuring out exactly the thoughts I'm having that makes me feel resistant. But I think it's around, like, me, like, thinking I don't know what to plan, I don't know when I'm going to do it, all of those kinds of thoughts. It just makes me want to not do anything, and I really don't want that to be the case. So I've been doing a lot of work around that today, like, thinking about it, like, thinking with pen and paper, because thinking up here never is as good as, like, writing it out. So yeah, I just feel like I've been out of integrity with that, in the sense that I had planned to plan and then I haven't actually done the planning. And I think it's just the old, if I don't plan, I can't fail to follow the plan, or I won't make a bad plan. But obviously such flawed logic, because you fail by default. You're just failing ahead of time if you don't make a plan. And to achieve the goal I am setting out to achieve, I will definitely need to have a solid plan. And part of the reason I'm really excited to do this impossible goal thing is because the point of it isn't to make a plan that works. It's to really build resilience around failure, and to just be willing to try so many different things. And if the plan I make doesn't work, it's not like, oh well, I'm never going to achieve this goal. It's okay, what else can I try? What else can I try? What else can I try? What should I do differently? What can I improve on? And really just continuing to iterate like that. So I feel like that's one thing. Another thing, I won't say them all because we could go on forever, is with exercise. I feel like in the last couple of weeks, I haven't been as diligent with working out, and there's all kinds of, like, for everything I'm talking about, there are a million reasons why, and I really just, I don't know how to explain it, but like, I could be like, oh, you know, moved house, Christmas, all these, like, I've had a lot of disruption to my routine, all of which is by choice. I have chosen to go to Christmas parties and see friends that are back in Brisbane and different things like that. Everything has been a choice, but it's so that easy then to use those choices as an excuse. And I've still been working out a bit, but not as much as I like to, and then I haven't been waking up not even as early, because I used to wake up heaps earlier, but when I set my alarm, and I was talking about this in one of my other vlogs, that I've just been letting myself snooze it, and I won't go into that whole thing again, because I feel like I talked about that for 20 minutes in the last one. So just really, like, it's been so interesting to have a look at the different areas of my life where I'm not empowered because I'm saying I'll do things and I'm not doing them. So I just really want to be in a place where I am feeling empowered and capable and determined, and not in a place where I'm making plans, wiggling out of them, making plans, wiggling out of them, which never feels good at all, even if you're like getting away with it. So yeah, that's really what I've been doing today. And I just started to, I'm such a nerd with numbers. I am setting up like a spreadsheet so Steve and I can keep track of all of the household stuff and really just have a full grasp on it. And Steve has left that to me, and I feel like if he was doing it, I would just backseat drive anyway. But I love numbers and just like figuring out all of that stuff and playing around with the numbers. And yeah, so I was setting up an well, no, it wasn't really, a Google Docs sheet so that I can share it, like digitally share it with Steve, and we can just be across all the different bills we have and all of that kind of thing. So that was what I was doing right before I left. And yeah, I kind of just, and I cleaned up my office from the photo shoot stuff I did with my brother the other day, cleaned up the spare room where I had some of my crap that I just had never put away, just stuff like that, where I just walk past like multiple times per day, that room where I just had little odds and ends. And I just am so glad. It literally took 20 minutes to clean it and put stuff in its place, but I just, from when we moved in, just had like odds and ends there and just didn't do anything with them. So it's just stuff like that, and I'm really keen and excited to really just get all of this as much as I can into, like, I'm not going to be a perfect person after doing all of this, but really just actually have a proper look at my life and see where I'm making plans and